Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Keyblade Master and welcome to my channel. Now, last week a really good game hit the Wii U Virtual Console. In fact, it's my first RPG ever. Did it involve going around slaying dragons, rescuing a princess, and retrieving a ball of light? Nope. Did it involve going out and finding some magical crystals in order to save the environment and defeat the forces of chaos? Nope. What was it? Well, it involved beating up kids and stealing their lunch money. Ha! You thought you were going to get those nachos today, weren't you? But Daddy needs a new pair of army boots. Yeah, today I'm going to be taking a look at a great game called River City Ransom. Alright, let's take a look at the story in River City Ransom. Now, I called this an RPG, but don't get too excited expecting anything epic. It's still an NES action storyline, meaning it uses the #1 cliche of any NES action game. Someone wearing a dress gets kidnapped. Yes, you have to go save your girlfriend, Cindy. You either can choose from Alex or his best friend, Ryan, to go beat up the goons and try to get into River City High School. And in order to do that, you have to beat up bosses in a certain order. Each one of them will give you a clue often to where the next one is, and repeat the process. Eventually, you'll be able to meet Ivan, who has the key to the gates of River City High School. Enter, climb to the top, and beat the last guy in order to save her. While it's still basic NES storytelling, it does have a little bit more narrative than your average brawler, but don't expect any great storytelling from River City Ransom, but that's okay. I like it as an action game. That and everybody in this game says Biff, Barf, and Mama when you beat them up, adds a few extra points too. Alright, let's talk about the game's graphics. And I love them. They're cartoonish, and the sprites being cartoony instead of drawn large and realistic really help bring out the charm in this game. And yes, if you have played a game called Dodgeball made by the same developer, it's the same sprites. But these large cartoony sprites are a lot more charming than some of the more realistic sprites used in a lot of the other brawlers, and I just love them. It gives this game a really great set of personality, add in some really decent backgrounds, and you got a really great looking NES game. If there is one flaw, is that the game can only handle 2 enemy sprites on screen at the same time, and yeah, that does get a little boring and makes the game not as exciting as it could have been. Alright, let's talk about this game's music. It's really good, it's really catchy, and the sound effects for an 8-bit game are really good. Take a listen. Alright, let's move on to this game's gameplay. Now, River City Ransom may look like a typical brawler, but it's not. First off, it's entirely non-linear. You're free to run from screen to screen as you choose fit. You don't even have to fight any of the bad guys, but you will want to. Why? Because they drop those coins. And these coins are very key to River City Ransom's RPG elements. You see, there are 4 malls in River City Ransom, and they serve more than just checkpoints and a quick place to breeze through. Each of these stores sell items that will give you new abilities or increase your stats and your health, and you're going to be needing to purchase a lot of items. I recommend starting off with Stone Hands and Dragon Feet from the first bookstore you encounter, which is at the very end of the first mall, because you're going to really need them. Other useful items to pick up are medicines from the pharmacy. Wait a minute. Date Saver Love Potion? Are we trying to save this town using generic Viagra? Huh. Oh well. You also probably would be wise to pick up some army boots or Texas boots if you really want to grab some change, because all of those really help towards the end. You can also go into restaurants and buy foods if you just want your standard health power up. Oddly enough, it seems like the dishes are edible in River City Ransom because your character eats the whole fricking plate. I ain't joking. Man, that must hurt when he has to go to the bathroom. There's also a health club you can visit at the end of the last mall, which is also great for increasing your health for a very cheap price. The only thing I have to say is, Whoa, crack kills. How did that get past the Howard Lincoln limitation that was on the NES? As for the actual action of the fighting, it's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. River City Ransom, again, is more focused on that RPG mechanic than the actual fighting mechanic. Once you get stone hands and dragon feet, pretty much any goon goes down within a hit or two. So it's more focused again on the coins and what you can buy with the coins. And you do have to pick carefully what you buy. You can waste a lot of time buying worthless items. Beware of moves like the Arco Circus, which are completely useless. And if you do die, the game doesn't penalize you too much usually. You get sent back to the last mall that you were in with half of your money. So you do get penalized, but it's not too much. So for the most part, it's pretty easy. When you do get hit, you do take quite a bit of damage, especially if your stats aren't up there where they need to be. And I should tell you, there is one game-breaking bug in this, and that's just the way the enemies react on fences. If you ever throw an enemy on top of a fence and then stand below them, the game kind of just glitches out a little bit. However, there is another bug that comes out to be really helpful, even when it comes to the final boss. Whenever you're standing on a fence, enemies completely freeze in place, meaning you can kick them in the head extremely easy. This can kill 2 or 3 bosses just by doing that trick. It kind of makes the game a little unfair, but hey, when you can beat the final boss this easy, who's complaining? And if the guy's smart enough to be able to enlist all the students in the high school to go out and kill 1 or 2 of his former best friends, but isn't smart enough to be able to climb on top of a fence to fight, what can I say? The guy's an idiot. There's just 1 or 2 more things I want to say about some other stuff that's related to this game. First, there is a 2-player mode on this game, and like Battletoads, I kind of don't recommend it. It's not as broken as Battletoads by any means. If you have someone who you can get along with and sync with and play this game, it's a great co-op game. However, you can hit each other, and you can both have your characters run off screens if someone isn't willing to communicate what they're doing. So play this game with a friend you can communicate with, or a friend you really like to horse around with. If your friend gets on your nerves, this isn't a game to be playing with them. I should also note there is a GBA port of this game. It fixes the fence bug that I talked about. It also tries to make the game longer by making it harder and increasing the enemy's stats. However, it fails to make it more fun. What it does is it just increases the grinding. What once was an hour-and-a-half game to beat becomes 4 or 5 hours, but you're going to be spending it on grinding coins to get items that you wouldn't need in the NES version. I don't really think the GBA version is superior here, folks. It's a good game. It's not a bad port, but I would recommend skipping the GBA version. Anyways, I give River City Ransom for the NES, now on the Wii U Virtual Console, a 4.5 out of 5. It's a really fun action RPG. It's got some great brawler in it, and it knows how to do its RPG elements well. Definitely worth a pickup for $5. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do reviews like this. I also work on editorials, and I even do a roundup of digital sales and virtual console games every week. And I would love to have you as part of my community. This is Tommy the Keyblade Master signing out.